Hey, it's Chris Broussard, and I'm here with my man,
Rob Parker.
And we have another great show coming your way. We're talking about Zeke's contract situation, Tom Brady's marketability, the latest Shaq vs. Kobe feud, and so much more. Plus, interviews with Super Bowl champion Will Blackmon and the greatest light-skinned running back of all times, Robert Smith, and the hot seat with our man, Rich Orenberger. So let's get to it. The Wednesday edition of the Odd Couple podcast is coming your way right now.
Thanks for listening to the Odd Couple podcast. Be sure to check us out live every weekday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, 4 to 7 Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Find your local station for the Odd Couple at foxsportsradio.com or stream us live every day on the iHeartRadio app by searching FSR.
Now let's get this party started.
You're listening to Fox Sports Radio.
Oh, yeah. It is the Odd Couple. I am Chris Broussard alongside my partner,
Rob Parker.
We're coming to you live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Lots to talk about today on the Odd Couple. It is a Worship Wednesday, and we're glad to have you with us for the next 3 hours, but plenty of football, a little bit of basketball, and even a little baseball in store for you guys. We will have Will Blackmon, Super Bowl champion, Fox Sports Radio NFL analyst as well. He will join us in about 30 minutes to talk about the NFL as we prepare for this upcoming season. But let me bring in my man, Rob. What's happening, brother?
What's happening? How are you?
I am great, man. I am great.
And you said we're going to talk some baseball, and we're going to talk about Aaron Judge, who you know what he did today? Another home run. He is on a tear. You know, he hit one in every game at Dodger Stadium. And last night, he became the third fastest to get to 100 home runs. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, they're playing with Super Balls, you know.
So
I think I could put one out. I think I could hit 2 home runs.
You think so? I don't think you could.
I was just playing.
No, but I'm just saying.
My ball's gonna be. No, it's great. I like Judge. I just wish I hope he can stay healthy.
Right. The last 2 years, you know, he's been in and out. But that still is the part, Chris, when we get to it, that's so shocking is that he's still the third fastest despite all the injuries, you know?
Well, hold on, but is it games? It's games played, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, third fastest.
So the injuries don't really impact that unless you want to say he's playing through some injuries. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But he's been amazing.
But it's impressive no matter.
And you know what?
But the two ahead of him, Ryan Howard,
went on to have a great career with the
and Gary Sanchez. Well, Howard fell off though, quick.
Right. No, but but they won a championship, and he had a good 10 years.
Once he got that money, I liked him, but you got to admit he fell off.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm saying he did have a really good 10 years for them, and they were in the hunt. Won a World Series.
I need more for that in baseball.
Really? 10 years?
You need more than 10 years in baseball. You know that.
Yeah.
I need 15.
I got to take a look. I'll take a look at his numbers. We'll talk about Ryan Howard. Right. But anyway, yes, Chris, so the day was good. School for the third day in a row at USC. That's going real well. I'm excited with the kids. That's right. Fight on, baby. Fight on. I'm all into USC now, Chris. You know?
Hey, you should be.
They paid me.
I love for USC.
They paid me.
I used to want to go to USC.
Did you?
I wanted to be the next great tailback at USC.
All right.
Remember they had O.J., Anthony Davis, Charles White, Marcus Allen, wasn't he at USC?
And what? I
was going to be in that grouping.
I just don't remember.
In my own mind.
I don't remember a light-skinned tailback, so it's just hard for me.
Some people might say O.J.
Unless you want to talk about what was his name for the who played.
Oh, you mean ever like a light-skinned?
Yes,
yeah, that's a good. Who's a great light-skinned? I mean, they are light-skinned brothers are taking over basketball.
Unless we're like talking about,
it might just be a matter of time.
Unless we're talking about Mike Allstott, unless we count that like that. No.
You know what?
Peyton Hillis. You look more like Peyton Hillis.
I can't think of one.
And who was
a great light-skinned running back, light-skinned African-American running back.
Who was the last white starting running back? I shouldn't say that because Peyton Hillis
Merrill
was.
Hodge.
But no, the guy who played Craig James.
The last great one was
Craig James.
Or he wasn't even great in the NFL, but he was good.
But he was
great
am I right?
in college.
Yeah.
He was great in college. We shared
the Pony Express.
Yeah,
right?
him and Eric Dickerson.
Yes.
But he wasn't great. No, Christian McCaffrey. Now he had one. Yeah, it was great last year.
Yeah, okay.
So he's been okay, but we'll see if he continues.
What I'm saying,
but
right.
he's tough. But I can't think of a light skinned African American great running back. I gotta admit that.
And Chris, I want to say one last
Pat
thing.
Mahomes though, about to become the GOAT in 20 years.
Oh goodness gracious!
It's not possible.
But after 1 year, no.
Is it
I'm not buying
it's
it after 1 year. No, it's not.
I'm not saying he's
not
going
off
to. I'm not
1 year.
predicting. Hold on. I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying.
Not off of 1 year. You said.
No, I'm not predicting. I'm just saying. Most guys you won't even put in that there's no chance. He has a chance.
Okay.
He's that great, and if they win. He could win, man.
I just remember you and Ron Jaworski about Kaepernick and RG3 and all those other guys. So slow down.
Look, as good as Kaepernick and RG3 were,
Kaepernick went to the
right.
Super Bowl,
but they weren't close to as good as Mahomes. You know that too. You will even admit that, right?
Right, but they were good though. You got to admit
they were
that.
good. They were good.
All right,
they were good. I even at that time though, I thought Jaworski was a little bit.
Over
and I
top.
love Ron, but that was a little off.
He was Jaws then. All right, let's
rocker.
welcome in the Odd Couple crew. Wouldn't be able to do this fine radio program without him, of course. Rob G is our producer. USC Chris is our engineer today. And, of course, Great Pipes, Mr. David Gascon is at the sports anchor desk. He'll keep us updated throughout the program. And we have a new intern, Chris, Will, from Connecticut, Canton, Connecticut, which is far away.
He came a long way.
Exactly.
What's up, Will?
And also, they are all on the other side of the glass. Let's kick some ass. I don't know what school that Will went to, though. Tell me the school. I just know he goes to Ithaca. Yeah, Ithaca.
Okay.
So they're all from Ithaca.
Ithaca's got a pipeline.
They got a pipeline.
And Kevin Connors, our former colleague at the old network from Ithaca.
I don't
Good
know.
Guy.
We need to find out. I don't know. Is Scott Shapiro our boss on the take with Ithaca or something? What's going on here?
I think Scott may have gone to Ithaca.
Scott went to Ithaca, too.
I don't know. I mean, you're right. They got a pipeline.
They do. All right.
They really do.
Let's get it started.
I like this. I think we already got into a little back and forth, so I'm excited about this show. Jerry Jones and Zeke, they're still at it, Rob. Obviously, no contract signed.
Back and
seems
forth.
like this is weird. And every other day, Jerry Jones is making a comment. Why not just be quiet about it? And again, Rob, let's listen to it first, and then I'll give you my view.
We don't have anything to report on our contract negotiation. We have to be prepared to be trite. We have to be prepared to play without any given player. We may very well play without a player that is not coming in on his contract. We've got a marathon here, and we want Zeke when we get to the playoffs. We want Zeke when we're in the dog days of this season. A fresh Zeke as we got on into the end of the season would be great.
What? What is he talking about? Maybe you won't make the playoffs without Zeke. How dare you assume you're automatically making the playoffs, Jerry Jones? How dare you put that in the atmosphere in the universe? I hope you don't make the playoffs just for that. Count your chickens before they hatch. How dare you? Sound the alarm.
Rob, I've been saying since Zeke held out, since he started the holdout, I've been saying, I think the Cowboys, I think Jerry Jones is willing to enter the regular season and see if they really need Zeke. I'm with you. I think he's the best running back in the league. I think that they do need him to have a chance to win a Super Bowl. But I do believe Jerry Jones is willing to engage in a game of chicken. They play the Giants. They play the Redskins. They play the Dolphins over the first 3 weeks of the season. 3 teams that you can beat. You should, even without Zeke, you should come out of that no worse than 2-1. If you're really a Super Bowl contender, no worse than 2-1. And Stephen Jones, director of player personnel, he's handling a lot of this. They have dropped some analytical gems in this whole thing with Zeke. You know that. And that's what got me to thinking, I think they're ready to play hardball. It started with Jerry saying you don't need a league-leading rusher to win a Super Bowl, which is true. The Cowboys needed it with Emmitt Smith, but outside of that, you typically don't need that. And they're looking at the analytics, and here's what the analytics, not the eye test, because like I said, with my eyes, Zeke is the best running back in the NFL. But the analytics say this: his wins above replacement, 0.2. The analytics say this: his value rushing to close out a game, meaning you got the lead and you want to hand it to your bell cow, your running back, and let him run out the clock, milk the clock, keep the other team's offense off the field. He's ranked 22nd among running backs in that category. In the red zone, his red zone efficiency, 16th in the league among running backs. Short yardage value, meaning when you need 3 yards or less to get a first down, Zeke is 10th in the NFL. And I'm just saying, they're looking at these analytics and they're saying, you know what? We might not need Zeke. We might not. Now, I think they do. But I think these analytics, combined with Tony Pollard's playing fairly well in the preseason, combined with the weak schedule to start the season, has the Cowboys thinking, we'll give it a shot. And when we're 2-1 or 3-0 and Tony Pollard's looking good, Zeke is going to have no choice but to come back and be the second highest paid running back in the league.
If Jerry Jones,
I think that's what they're thinking.
If Jerry Jones and the Cowboys do this, it will be the worst decision that they've ever made. Jerry's already proven that he can't win since Jimmy Johnson left. They've won 2 playoff games in 25 or 26 years. They finally have a squad together. You could throw out all those analytics all you want. My eye test tells me that the Cowboys are better with Ezekiel Elliott. My eye test. I don't want to hear about all these other phony numbers. Everybody's the same people who try to make it that the Pittsburgh Steelers did the right thing last year.
They did.
No, they didn't, Chris. They didn't even make the damn playoffs.
Stop it.
They didn't make the
Before
playoffs.
James Conner
They
got
didn't
hurt,
make
they
the
were rolling
playoffs.
like a train.
You hear me? Stop it.
You
it
stop
was a failure.
You need another example,
It was
son.
a failure.
You need another example. And I'm on your side with Zeke, but give me another example.
No, I'm not. Because it's about making the playoffs. And I'm telling you right here, right now, the Cowboys do not, N-O-T, make the playoffs without Ezekiel Elliott. They will not, Chris. I'll bet you 100 wings. If he sits out the year, the Cowboys will not make the playoffs. Pollard Schmollard. Are you kidding me? I'm not buying that. These preseason never was it. They don't even play any of the real players. You're going to tell me that you're banking on Pollard to do something with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones must be crazy. Jerry Jones is crazy.
I think, now look, they may get a deal done tomorrow for all I know.
Well, but we're talking about it today.
But I'm just saying, I think that the Cowboys, from all that they've said, from all the analytics, I think they're willing to test it. And Jerry Jones said it a few weeks ago. In the regular season, when the real games start, that's when the leverage is going to swing. If they win and the running game and the offense look good, the leverage is going to be heavily in the Cowboys' favor. If they win or lose and the offense looks bad, then it's all Zeke, and I think he'll be back as the highest paid running back in the league. But I think the Cowboys are willing to test, and I got to be honest, as much as I hope Zeke gets his money, if I were in Jerry Jones' shoes, I would be willing to test it too. I don't know about for 3 weeks, but certainly for 1 week.
You talking about the same guy who's pushing 90 Well, I'm trying to win
First
another
of all,
championship.
is he even 80? I don't even think
close
he's 80.
to 80. Close to 80. He just looks like he's 90. But he's trying to win another championship to prove that he can he's run the Dallas Cowboys like a mom and pop store.
He's 76 years old.
I said
he's
close
in
to
your
80.
ballpark. He's in your
my
generation.
ballpark. What are you talking about? Hey, what you talking about, Willis? What do you mean? You must be crazy. I'm the best-looking 70-some-odd-year-old in this country.
I'll give you that.
Yes, Big
I'll
Daddy.
give you that.
So I think they'd be making a big mistake, and Jerry's crazy. And I do want to say one more thing before we get to let everybody chime in, Chris, is that Scott Shapiro, our boss, said no way, no how did he go to Ithaca. He went to Emory University in Atlanta, so let's just clear that up.
All right.
And he's not on the take. He said that too. Wow.
Are the Cowboys making a mistake by playing hardball with Zeke? It's your turn to weigh in on this Worship Wednesday. 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. It's Chris and Rob, the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Be sure to catch live editions of The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeartRadio app.
Let's compare two laptops, Surface Laptop 2 and MacBook Air. Surface Laptop 2 is faster, which means you can work faster too. It also has a longer battery life, so feel free to kick back and watch another episode of your favorite show and keep watching all day long. And unlike any MacBook, Surface Laptop 2 has a touchscreen which makes everything that much easier. With Surface Laptop 2, there's hardly any comparison. Learn more at surface.com/laptop2.
It's the Odd Couple, Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. And we got some great news for you. There's a quick and an easy way you can save money. Switch to Geico. It only takes 15 minutes to see if you can save 15% or more on your car insurance. Go to geico.com and see how much you could save. All right, Rob, we threw it out there. Is Jerry playing hardball with Zeke a smart move or a dumb one? Let's see what the listeners think. 877-99 on Fox.
And don't forget, light-skinned running back Robert Smith joins us a little later on in the program.
You know what? Might be the best one. If you don't count OJ, probably was.
OJ's not light-skinned. Stop
Some
it.
people think that.
No, I don't think he's
Depends on your standard.
He's brown-skinned. Stop it.
Robert Smith was sweet.
He was. He's very good.
He was sweet. He retired early
Yep.
just because he wanted to. I think that's good to have him on because of that.
Yeah,
But he was awesome.
Let's do that. All right, let's start it off. Kick it off with JoJo in Maine. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, JoJo?
Hey, guys. Love the show. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing great.
Great, man. How are you?
Doing great. First off, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I don't want people to think it's just somebody saying it that, that doesn't have their best interest in their heart. You know what I mean? So, y'all remember Herschel Walker, of course.
Yep.
Okay, and as much as I hate to agree anything what Doug Gottlieb says, he does make a point about Khalil Mack and the money. You can't do anything with the team if one player's sucking it dry. So, as much as he deserves because he's leading, you can't take that much money and win. Look at Tom Brady. He deserves more than he was getting, and he took a cut to make sure he could build a team around him. My point is I think we got 2 years left. We look at one of these teams we know that's not going to be good for the next 4 years, and we get all their first-round picks and build a new dynasty, baby. I love the show. I'm going to hang up and listen.
I can't buy that. You've gone 25 years without winning, and you've won 2 playoff games. You talking about next time? Are you kidding me? Jerry Jones don't have next time.
I wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't be shocked if that's somewhere in the back of their mind.
I don't believe that they could do that.
Because remember, what propelled them to those 3 championships Jerry did win? That Herschel Walker trade.
Yeah, but Jerry wasn't running the place. I'm just saying. I don't think Jerry and Steven can really look at it that way, especially his dad now 25 years later. That's all, Chris.
He's only 76.
Okay. What do you mean
that ain't that old?
Yes, that is. That is. Danny.
You knocking on 76's door.
Whatever, stop it. Danny in Nevada, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Danny?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
What's happening, man?
Good. So I think that by Jerry doing that is a good idea. How are you going to reward somebody on a 2-year contract? You know what I mean? You keep giving up bad desk. Prescott a bad name. All he's done is won, since he's been in the league, he's won 35 games. I say you smoke out Zeke, franchise tag him, and let him know who's boss.
Hey, I know Jerry. I'm sure he's upset that Zeke did this with 2 years left on his deal, Rob.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He's in a different situation because of what happens to running backs. That's why he's not in camp. That's why he's doing it. I have no issue with Zeke doing what he's doing. I'm sorry. I just don't.
I don't. I get it. I think
it's
you're right.
totally
the CBA
different.
screws running backs, but I also, if I'm in Jerry Jones's shoes, like I said, I'm trying to look at it from both sides. If I'm in his shoes, I understand it. I do. I would do the same thing. I would test it. See what we look like against the Giants, the Redskins, if necessary.
I just hope they test it and lose the first 3 games. That would be the greatest scenario.
I don't think they'd let it go 3.
Why
if
not?
they lost the first 2, maybe even the first 1.
And all the stuff they're throwing out, they sound like they don't need them at all. So
I think
just
that's
move
what,
forward.
I agree that that's
Just
what
move
they're
forward.
saying. It's
So
negotiations.
act like they don't need them.
Well, they're going to see. I think they're willing to test it.
Is this Andres? How you say it? Andreas, I'm sorry. In Mississippi, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. Hi, Andreas. What's up?
Not much. How y'all doing today?
Doing great.
What's up, man?
Where are you in Mississippi? I've never been there.
I'm in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. It's about an hour and a half north of New Orleans.
Okay, cool.
All right, go ahead.
So we're University of Southern Mississippi, where Brett Favre went to school.
All right, that's what's up.
Go ahead. What's your point?
Okay, I think Jerry Jones is kind of crazy for thinking that the Cowboys' offense can be successful without Ezekiel Elliott. And here's why. Because all the players that are surrounding Ezekiel Elliott, no disrespect to any of them, but they're kind of mediocre whenever you consider the other teams that are in the league, like the Kansas City Chiefs, Pittsburgh Steelers, the Los Angeles Rams. These are teams that have Tier 1 players, multiple Tier 1 players on their team. And listen, if you look at the Steelers from last year, I think the reason why they could do without Le'Veon Bell is because they had other players on their team that can make up for that slack. And
they didn't make the playoffs, though. They didn't make the playoffs.
Rob, stop it. You know they looked fine until Connor got hurt.
They didn't make the playoffs. It's a fact.
Because he got hurt. That's why. You going to keep beating that drum?
They make the playoffs.
Right.
They didn't make the playoffs. Thanks for the call. Sean in Sacramento, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
What's up, hey, Rob? What's up, CB, man? How y'all doing today?
Doing
What's
great.
happening, man?
So I just want to make a quick little point. First of all, man, how y'all leave Eddie George off the list of great light-skinned running backs?
Is he light-skinned or is he brown?
Rob's got a different definition of light-skinned.
You think?
He got great eyes, man. How much more light-skinned can you be?
Sean, you think OJ's light-skinned? Be honest.
OJ's about the same color as Eddie George.
Light-skinned as far as what, him or his women?
Oh, stop.
It depends, man. I mean, really, like a lot of dudes would say OJ's light skin. I wouldn't necessarily. Obviously, I'm coming from a whole different perspective of what light skin is. But a lot of dudes would. You know that a lot of blacks would.
All right.
Go ahead.
So
Sean,
the point I want to make real quick, man, is I get how irreplaceable Zeke looks, but look at the last time it was a guaranteed starter that got replaced, man. Tony Romo was thought to be, the last hope for Dallas as far as quarterbacks. He goes down, and Dak steps in without missing a beat.
They haven't won anything with Dak. Stop it. They haven't won anything.
Hey, he has a better winning percentage than Tony Romo.
Tony Romo won a playoff game too, Chris.
In 20 years or whatever it was.
No, it wasn't. He won one. He won.
Yeah, in 21.
They beat the Lions.
15 years.
They beat the Lions.
Me, Rob G, and the accounting crew could beat the Lions.
Would you stop ripping on Detroit?
Sad football franchise. I can't even believe you brought up the Lions. You brought it up for me to hammer.
But they won a playoff. They beat the Lions. I'm just saying, Tony Romo.
The football conversation will continue. Super Bowl champion Will Blackman joins us next. But first,
be sure to catch live editions of The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific.
Thank you.
All right, we are coming to you live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios. It's easy to save 15% or more on your car insurance with Geico. Go to geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. The only hard part is figuring out which way is easier. We are bringing in a Super Bowl champion and now a Fox Sports Radio NFL analyst, Will Blackman. Will, welcome to the Odd Couple.
First of all, why are you guys called the Odd Couple? There's nothing odd about you guys.
Well, you don't know Chris.
Well,
you guys are
no,
very
it's
similar.
not us. Isn't well. Rob
You guys
is
are very similar.
Well, you got to hear our intro. Rob's divorced. I've been married 24 years. I have children. Rob doesn't.
Chris goes to church on Sunday. I throw money at the pole late Saturday night.
Right. I'm right.
Okay, I
Rob
just
is
said,
wrong.
I was going to say you both like to argue. You both are bold, and you guys are very respectful with me when I see you guys.
No doubt.
So I see the similarities.
I
Anyhow,
got
what's happening?
I would give you that. In those ways, we are very similar. But other than that, we are. But it's great to have you on, man. We appreciate you joining us. And, of course, you played with the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. And I don't know if I'm overstating this, but I feel like he's gotten a little more criticism than usual this offseason. People have blamed him for Mike McCarthy being fired. They've said, he always tries to make the tough throw rather than the easy one. He ad-libs a little too much. Do you think some of this criticism that's beginning to be levied at Rodgers because he hasn't really won since that Super Bowl is fair or foul?
I would say it's foul, and I think it goes all the way back to his Cal days because coming out, they were saying the same things, right? He's arrogant, he thinks this, he's cocky, his attitude. And then when he had to wait in the draft room, hey, this is going to humble a little bit. Now he has to wait behind Favre. This is going to humble him a little bit. And then he goes wins. So now all of a sudden that he's the guy again, everyone's seeing all these things. And not at all. Playing with Aaron Rodgers, it's funny because, talking to our colleague Colin, he looks at me, a Boston College guy. He goes, you're a BC guy. Aaron's a Cal guy. You guys are basically smartasses. You know what I'm saying? That's
right.
That's how
you're
he
smart. You're intelligent.
Exactly. That's what he's saying. He's like, you guys are smart. You guys have, a certain kind of wit and dry humor about you guys. And sometimes people don't like it. So I think for Aaron Rodgers, he's earned the right to say these certain things. It's a grown man's sport. And he is, when you think of Green Bay, now you think of him. You know what I mean?
Doubt.
So I think it's totally it's not fair in terms of all the criticism he's getting.
How about the Cowboys? Let's switch over there. We were just talking about it. I think Jerry Jones is playing with fire. They've won like 2 playoff games in the last 25, 26 years. They got a young team together. They need their running back. Why is he playing this game instead of taking care of Ezekiel Elliott, who's done nothing but produce since he's come in the league?
I feel like they're in the process of taking care of all this, but I think he shouldn't be playing the games with the media. Like, if you're going to handle business, then go handle business, And I'm sure they are talking. And he knows what he has in Zeke Elliott. He's going to take care of him. But to bring it out there and to, give us the runaround, I can barely say us. I'm one of the media guys now. Damn, that's crazy.
That is crazy. You never thought that.
Oh, I know. Someone tried to get some information out of me earlier. I was like, can't do it. He was like, come to the dark side. I'm like, no way in hell, not yet. But yeah, just go about the business. He doesn't have to play with us and do all that crazy stuff. It's just right. It's a little too much, and it's tough because I just feel like that team is always so close, and something has to change. Something has to adjust. You know what I mean? And it is. It's like everyone likes to see them lose. It's America's team, what have you. But they're so close, and something I don't know what it is, but something has to change. Maybe he needs to take a step back. Maybe someone else needs to come in and help out. We can't always look at – I know everyone does look at Jason Garrett, but there's other parts in that entire building to make that work. And being fortunate where I was in Green Bay and I seen what it looks like today. I was in New York on the Giants and saw what it looks like today. I had a chance – I was in training camp with Seattle. But once again, I saw what it looked like today, and it's a collective effort, everybody having a piece inside the entire building, not just one man who's in every single meeting and controlling everything. And I feel like everyone's walking on eggshells, despite, he's taking care of them with a nice new building, uniform, all that stuff. But just from a manager standpoint, something else is going on.
It's Will Blackman, Super Bowl champion, joining the Odd Couple. Will, let's say if Tony Pollard and Alfred Morris, let's say they can combine to produce the same numbers as Zeke, 1,600 yards or whatever it may be. Is there a difference, though, between Zeke's 1,600 and Tony Pollard's, or both of them? You know what I mean? Combined Pollard and Morris? Like, even if the numbers are similar, is it still different? You could even go with James Conner and Le'Veon Bell. Because Conner put up great numbers, but
they didn't make the playoffs,
just better.
though.
I mean, not even dealing with that. But seriously, like, is there a difference? Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what Chris is saying. He's not saying that he's just comparing when Le'Veon was out. You know, the James Connors mean the same. And obviously, they missed the playoffs. So, right, it wasn't as effective in terms of it helped the team sustain, but it didn't help the team. It didn't make the team that much better. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I agree. That's the problem.
But
I have
mean,
with
like
it.
Just because a guy duplicates somebody's numbers doesn't mean he's quite as effective. Correct?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't, because it changes the whole defensive mindset. Like, playing against the Cowboys when I was on the Redskins, it's like we looked across. It was like, okay, we got to stop Zeke, and that changed our whole game plan. Now it's almost like, okay, you might play certain players. Like in basketball, when you play Houston Rockets, you're going to let Harden drive to the hole. Just let him. Let him do that. If he drives to the hole and he's going to score, on us, fine. But if we leave him wide open outside the three, he's going to knock us down. So if he scores 20 and he keeps turning the ball over and he's scoring points too, then we'll take that. Let him do his thing. Don't let the whole team beat us. So in case like with Zeke, it's like, yeah, Zeke will get 120 yards, but it's like 120 yards that are crucial. It might be like a 3rd and 10. He might get a screen pass. It might be short yardage, and he takes it, 50 yards for a touchdown. Where it's like, you're going to play these guys now. Okay, yeah, you want to stop the run, but you're not afraid of them hurting you. So let's stop Amari Cooper. Let's stop, Jason Witten. Let's stop these other guys. You know what I'm saying? Let's make Dak beat us.
Right.
There was a poll that came out that says Tom Brady's the most marketable player in the NFL. Is it based on just him winning? Because it can't be personality. He's an aw-shucks, gee-whiz guy who never says anything, does he?
He was. It's funny because I was like, Tom Brady is obviously extremely popular and marketable. But ever since your man made that catch in OBJ, I still think he is the NFL's biggest rock star.
No doubt.
He's the NFL's biggest rock star by far. And he made speaking of marketing, he made a huge marketing move when he cut his hair. Because now I'm sure he's going to try to get involved in other stuff. Maybe he might get a modeling contract. Maybe he might do some movies. Maybe he might do other stuff. So I think he's still the rock star. I remember when we played the Giants. They came when I was on the Redskins. They came to DC, and I went to their hotel because I was friends with some of them since I played there. I was hanging out with Antrell Roll, and I remember OBJ. Like, there was this huge crowd, a huge wait. There was like probably 6 bodyguards around OBJ at the hotel just so he can go outside and make a phone call. I was like, Antro. I was like, what is this? He was like, honestly, he said, this is not like OBJ trying to be cool. Like, Odell needs this. Like, he needs the security. Because all the guys want to hang out with him. All the girls want to hang out with him. All the parents, everyone wants to hang out with him.
Right.
And that's just how it was.
No, I agree.
It's Will Blackman, Super Bowl champ. Will, great stuff. And keep up the great work on the radio, man. You're doing fabulous.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. I'm having a good time. Steve Hartman, I just give him a hard time. Appreciate you guys.
And we need to go get wings pretty soon, okay?
Hey, listen. Do you like wine, Rob?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Follow my page, NFL Wine Guy. That is
really?
me.
Okay.
At NFL Wine Guy. That is me.
So you're a connoisseur.
I'm legit. I have a certification, level 2. I will talk to you guys about it.
All right, we'll do
now,
that.
LeBron is a wine guy. You ever dealt with him with that?
I haven't dealt with LeBron. LeBron, he's interesting.
LeBron James.
Oh, God.
Let me ask you this. Would you ever walk onto the sideline at a game with wine?
If I could,
arena, into the field?
If I could, I would. I actually I would have drink a bunch of wine the night before games. That's another story.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we will get to that story next time we have you on for sure.
All right.
All right, Will. Great stuff, man.
I appreciate you guys.
Yep. All right, records don't mean what they used to, Rob Parker. We'll explain next. Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.